Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It's Superplayer NegativeAE, and welcome back to another episode of Higurashi When They Cry. Last we left off, we had just found out that Shion was not as she seemed. So today we are kind of back at our house. Well, I guess we didn't find out that she's not as she seemed. She lied to us, according to the police. Because unless she knows something that we don't know, I don't know. I lay down on the couch and stay there dazed for a while. My mind was completely blank. I couldn't think about anything for more than a few seconds. There was a note in my house saying that mom and dad would be home late and I should have ramen or something for dinner. I could make it whenever I got hungry, but I had no appetite, so I just blankly stared at the ceiling without eating anything. The hands of the clock were already pointing at 10. Would I get another phone call like that? Oh yeah, and she's dead. Or she's gone. That's weird. Even though Shion had already disappeared, would she still call me? Where were they calling from, and who were they? The more I thought about it, the more I started to tremble. I even thought about just disconnecting the phone line. If I had been thinking a little less logically, I really would have done it too. Hold on, Keiichi Maebara. Uishi-san admitted it himself, didn't he? That Shion went missing a lot? Couldn't she have just gone to relatives that Uishi-san didn't know about and have been there ever since? Shion and I were both being targeted by somebody, so it wouldn't be strange to think that she went somewhere she usually didn't in order to hide. That must have been why Oishi-san couldn't locate her and why he labeled her a disappearance. Yeah, that had to be it. Shion hadn't disappeared at all. Then my right hand moved of its own volition and slapped me on the cheek. Its cold sting let me calm down a little. Why do I say my name in full like that? It kind of worries me that he's just like... It worries me that he constantly goes, "Calm down, Keiichi Maebara," like every single time in his head. Like, I don't think I've said that to myself like once in, well, more than like once or twice in my life. Like, calm down, freaking tuba. You know, in my head, that's weird, right? I knew I didn't want to admit she had disappeared. Admitting it would mean that something terrifying was definitely happening. I just needed to figure out whether Shion was the first one on the phone, was the one on the phone or not. Did I ask her if she was actually Shion? That seemed like an incredibly absurd thing to do. If the person on the other end still believed that I thought she was Shion, then that gave me a tiny advantage, yes. Casually, completely casually, I would listen to what she had to say, defend her off. I would tear the skin off the monster. It would definitely be really scary for me. However, as the last survivor of the people who went into the storehouse that night, this was my duty to perform. Still then, who would call me and pretend to be Shion? I may have only heard her voice, or I may have only heard her over the phone, but her voice shouldn't be that easy to replicate. Yeah. There is someone that has the same voice. Neon. Who else could have done this? At this point, seriously, after all this time, all those little things that didn't quite make sense about Mion until now overwhelmed my mind. Like being questioned about sneaking into the ritual storehouse, and how she shook the ladder while spouting curses. Who else? Who else could have... Why though? Why would Mion... I thought back to the things about the Sonosaki family that I had heard from Oishi-san and Shion. Mion was always entangled in the incidents, in a position where she was omnipotent. Some of that information included things that Shion had told me after she disappeared. I madly scratched my head. Courage, give me the courage. Just a little bit of courage to pick up the phone. I know what we'll bring tonight. It would be so easy to run away. That, though, would be the same as making it easy for them to erase me. I cannot run. I must stand up and face it. After all, the next sacrifice would definitely be me. I was sure Shion would try to use tricky words to try and trap me. Careful, be careful. I'm scared, I'm scared, I'm scared. He's also repeating a lot of things. I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do this, I don't want to. Wasn't, in the first one, wasn't Rena the one repeating, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry? So why am I repeating things? There's like so much that's like... At that point, it rang. The phone rang and I didn't know where the call was coming from. Shion had disappeared. Disappeared a long time ago. Disappeared the night after Watanagashi. Yet, until today. She had been calling me like nothing happened. Now again, tonight. The people that had disappeared, their corpses simply haven't been found. I really don't think they were alive. So if it really was Shion on the other end, then does that mean she was calling me from another world? Of course that couldn't be. The living being was calling me, pretending to be Shion. Shion was long gone, and yet, as though she were alive and well, the phone continued on its incessant ringing. I didn't want to pick it up if I didn't have to. I had just concluded, though, that not doing so wouldn't solve anything. Then, what would I do if after I answered it? Would I immediately declare that she wasn't? No. No, you won't. Alternatively, would I pretend I was still fooled and try to grab her by the tail? You're close. Okay. What I was most afraid of was what the other person on the phone would do when she realized I knew she wasn't Shion. However, as long as I continued to let her think that I was fooled, she wouldn't do anything extreme, right? But just make sure to be careful, that should be the safest option. Made up my mind. I'll answer the phone. Once I do that, I'll talk to her as if nothing happened. That wasn't all I'd do this time, though. I'd scope her out. Who was she, what was she thinking, and what was she after? Why was she doing this? Was she really the one who killed Tomitaki-san and Takano-san? What happened to the mayor? You're gonna find out all this? Get the F out of here. Start for like little bite-sized shits. He's like, I'm gonna take the whole freaking deck. This man is like trying everything. Sorry for picking. Yeah, pick the phone up, dude. Oh, how relieved I would have been if it hadn't been a call from Shion. A momentary, convenient, and above all fleeting prediction was ripped into 1,000 pieces. Okay, good. I couldn't help shaking at this point. You ready for this? What I'm a little bit confused about is, like, so every phone call pretty much that I've had with her has been not her. So now I have to think about everything that I've told her. Because I told her about Rika. That's why Rika disappeared. It always like goes down. Why are my parents always not here? Parents. I failed. I let her in on a piece of fatal information that I was currently the only one at my house. That is not how you deflect that. You don't just say, well, anyway. Oishi-san hadn't let me know, and I might have allowed myself to shed a tear or two at Shion's considerate words. Instead, now that it had come to this, I couldn't take her words at face value. The person on the other end of this receiver, the more perfect a Shion they were, the more my blood curdled in fear.
Rika-chan to Satoko wa sarawareta da yo na.
はい、それは間違いないでしょうね。
Just how cruel and grave a meaning did those words hold. Their weight astonished me, and then a moment later, I was overcome with numbness and felt like I would pass out. I had asked if Rika-chan and Satoko had been kidnapped. Shion, in turn, had answered that there wasn't much doubt. A cruel meaning behind her words.
Rika-chan to Satoko wa... いや、村長さんはさらわれてどうなったと思う？まだ生きてるんだろうか？
Happened to Rika-chan and Satoko after they were kidnapped. What I'm kind of confused about is why she doesn't know that I know. In the previous game, and I know it's bad to keep comparing this game to the previous game because they are obviously completely different games, but in the last game they knew exactly what I was doing at all times. Why? And then now I can hide things from them? That doesn't make sense to me. That's what I wanted to ask, but I frantically caught myself. What if she had given that question the terrifying response in such a way that it's to sound like it had nothing to do with her? I was scared of that, so I immediately brought up the mayor. That said, however much I...
おいおい、そんなにあっさり。
人間をさらって、その状態を維持するのってとても大変なことだと思います。人質にするんでもない限り、ヨンが済んだら殺しちゃうのが一番合理的じゃないかと。
I was starting to bend so much that I almost lost my balance. Scenery in my eyes whirled around like the hands of a clock and tried to swallow me whole from below. Frantically put a hand on the wall to support myself. A moment later, a severe nausea welled up within me. However, how was she saying such things so lightly?
殺しちゃうって、そんなにあっさり。
Yo, this music is fucking crazy. I just want to sit here and listen to this. What the f-
人の命を何だと思ってやがるんだ。
This is crazy. I like this. It kind of reminds me of, I don't know why, it reminds me of Wind Waker. The mayor was killed, then did that... This music. No, that couldn't... They weren't from some random old man. It was Rika-chan. It was Satoko. It couldn't kill them so readily.
Rika-chanとSatoko-chanも同じだと思った方がいいでしょうね。
The words I wanted to hear the least, and I fought them back with a scream of my own. Even though it wouldn't change anything, still. I still couldn't help but scream. This time the tears flowed. I had been confronted with the most horrific outcome that I had been trying to avoid considering ever since last night, and I cried. There was no longer any doubt. My fault. I killed them. I succumbed to the weakness of my own heart and confessed everything to Rika-chan. That's why they were killed. That meant that I killed them. Well, you killed them because you told Shion that. That's why. It wasn't you. My voice gave out and yet I still cried. It's like some straight video game shit. We couldn't even find their remains. I would never be allowed to even apologize to their faces. If that was to be my punishment, then a brutal punishment it was. I think Shion tried to comfort me, but I didn't hear any of it. It makes me excited for the next games, because if the music is popping off this hard in the second chapter.
そんなことでどうするんですか？次に狙われるのは確実に私かケイちゃんなんですよ。お願いですから。お願いします。お願いしますから。
Shion was shouting, imploring me with a voice that sounded like tears were in her eyes. However, I was coming to hate the sound of that voice more and more. This Shion killed them. I had no doubts that this person killed them. Why? Why?
どうしてだよ。どうして人をさらったり殺したりするんだよ。たたりだかなんだか知らないが、人の命ってのはそんなに安いのかよ。あっさり消したり殺したり。
ええ、全くです。悪魔ですよね。
I felt like crushing the receiver in my hand. How long did this person plan on acting like it was someone else's problem? There was magma in the pit of my stomach, and it felt like it was going to erupt at any moment.
なあ、シオン、教えてくれ。どうしてこの北見沢では綿流しのように。
それは私です。
もうダム計画との戦いは終わった。なのにどうしてまだたたり。どうしてだよ。理由があるなら言ってみろよ。
I was incoherent at this point. My emotions had broken through the dam inside of me, rushing forth that I couldn't stop them. These were not simple questions. This was an interrogation. Shion herself hadn't realized it yet. It was just too funny. It was so funny that I couldn't stop crying.
ケイちゃんの気持ち、
Interesting.
私もよくわかります。ダム闘争は特訓なのに毎年お社様のたたりという名のさ。なぜ？どうしてなんですか？全然関係ない人もいた。たたられるのに不相応な人だっていたのに、どうして？
それを俺が。
それを私だって知りたいんですよ。 いいですか？お社様のたたりなんて非現実的なものは初めから存在。ケイちゃんの言う通り、村の何者かがお社、奴らは狡猾です。たたりを都合よく利用して村の旧敵を毎年2人ずつ消し去るそしてこのシステムで今年。
じゃあ2人で十分じゃねえかよ。
Why don't you ask her where she is right now?
どうして村長やリカちゃんやサトコまで殺されなくちゃならないんだよ。それに俺はリカちゃんとサトコがなぜ殺され。どうしてだ。サトコには打ち上げですらないんだぞ。どうしてサトコは。どうしてなんだ。
I didn't
ケ
answer.
イちゃん、もういじめないでください。私だって何が何最後殿に忍び込んだあの晩から。
And for me, as I listened to Shion's bitter weeping, I could feel my agitation
あの
subsiding.
晩、高野さんたち、そして今度は自分が狙われる立場になったんだ。忍び込んだのは私とケイちゃんだけが。そう思った時、それがどれだけ心細くて恐ろしいことだったか、ケイちゃんにはわかりますよね。だから私、君吉のおじいちゃんに打ち明けたんです。私はみんなが入ってはいけないという西宮殿に面白半分な気持ちで踏み入ってしまいました。いけないことだとは分かっていましたが、本当に面白半分な気持ち。一緒に入った高野さんたちはその後すぐに殺されてしまいました。それもあんなむごい最後。あの日からいつ私も襲われるのではないかと。君吉のおじいちゃんしか助けてくれる人がいません。だからおじいちゃん、助けてって。君吉のおじいちゃん、怒らなかった。そしてにっこり笑って、シオンちゃん本当に笑いながら任せなさいって。
All of this is not correct. With such a sad voice that none who heard it could prevent it from twisting hearts. No, she's lying. She's either lying to you. So, the reason why this is interesting, and the reason why is I think it would be an interesting plot point to say that she's in a different world right now calling me from the other world, and I hit it right on the head when the main character was just like, I said it. Because the main character just like said it. He's like, is she calling me from a different world? Maybe the different world is exactly the same as this world, except I don't know. It could be that she's in a different world, but she's lying to you right now. Based on what you know, she's lying to you. Yeah, don't forget about the mayor. He was told on Kana-san and Tomitaki-san's death over the phone and committed a meeting that evening. He went to a hospital appointment. He didn't tell his family. He'd only made it back in time for the meeting. He went straight to the assembly hall. That's what Oishi-san said.
いつ村長に打ち明けたんだよ。ごめんな、シオン。悲しい気持ちのところに追い打ちをかけるようで、シオンは打ち明けたんだよな、君吉のおじいちゃん。
はい。
いつ打ち明けたんだよ。
And to get scared of saying it out loud after hearing her sad voice. I wasn't saying anything contradictory though. I wasn't saying it was contradictory though. Besides, if there was a contradiction, then I wanted Shion to explain it to me.
村長さんは重い痔を患ってて、病院にかかっていたという話は。
ケイちゃん、それが何か。
答えてくれ。知らないなら知らないと答えればいい。
痔だったのは知ってます。座る時とか辛そうでしたから。
病院に通ってたんだ。どこの病院かは。
ごめんなさい。それはちょっと知りませんけど、でもケイちゃん、それが一体何の。
Since she didn't know what hospital he was going to, she couldn't possibly known what was going on. Okay, and she couldn't have gone to his train either because she didn't know where he was going. The only time that she probably could have told him was after the meeting, which he went straight to the assembly hall anyway, so she couldn't have. Based on the information we know, Shion is not telling the truth.
担当直入に聞きたい。シオンはどこだい？大雑把でいいから教えてほしい。
ケイちゃん、なんでそんなことを。
No, this is where she turns into Mion and she's like, I'm coming to kill you right now.
ありえない。村長が失踪した日、朝から消えるまでシオンには接触できる機会は。
そんな。
村長は朝一で誰にも内緒の大学病院へ一人で診察に行って、シオンは今この病院をだから帰ってくるまで村長と接触することはそうだろう。帰りの電車が事故で遅れたので自宅に帰ってきたのは、つまり会合が始まるまでの時間にも打ち明ける時間的余裕はないんだ。
Heard Shion repeating her weak sobs. That sort of feminine voice automatically ripped into my heart. So painful reading it.
シオンも一緒に会合に出たのか？そして会合の席上で打ち明けたのか？
Didn't have been any time left. After the meeting was over, the mayor disappeared on his way home. Shion went to the meeting, didn't she? Did she or didn't she? The question was so simple to answer, but she didn't give me an immediate response.
あの日、シオンが行くと言ったバイトすら君は欠勤してるんだ。もっと端的に言おう。
Didn't he go to eat? Oh, well, she didn't go to the job that day, so it doesn't matter.
俺と一緒に行った図書館以降誰にも目撃されていない。
ケイちゃん、
園崎シオンは綿流しの翌日に失踪したんだ。
It was so quiet. I felt like the horn code had been cut. I couldn't sense anyone.
大石さんは君がすでに失踪していると言っているんだ。でもシオンはこうして毎晩俺に電話をかけてきてくれただろ。
Still, I'm pretty sure I haven't said anything wrong.
頼む、シオン。
As far as I know, yeah.
俺が言ったことが間違ってるなら、シオン、頼むから。シオン、お前は村長に会ってなんかないんだ。もし会ったとしたなら。
Shion ever did have the chance to meet with the mayor on that day, then that meant
村長が会合を終えた後、すなわち失踪する直前、もしくは失踪してからしかあり。
I love the psychotic laughter. That was really good psychotic laughter. That was really good voice acting. Person. Alright, we get it, game. Thank you. There was a lot of laughs. This game overestimated the amount of laughs. What the fuck? Their days for a while until I realized she had hung up on me. Alright, good. Fuck that bitch. She's best girl. But if she's just gonna hang up, have to freaking get into a fight. Where's your baseball bat? Go get a baseball bat. We got some new tips, which we can read right now, because it's relatively early in the episode. Tough call. This achievement that I got, you guys can't see the achievements, but the that achievement is one scary looking eye. All right, let's view all new tips. It's pretty silent actually. All right, here we go. Scrapbook. The problem with the twins. Oh, let's go. This is not limited to just Hinamizawa, but in Onofuchi village especially, the three families detested giving birth to twins as successors. The long-term dictatorship, built on the precarious balance of the three families, must have feared collapsing under the weight of internal strife from things like family quarrels. According to the literature, if twins were born, then they had to be cold. That very fact, both the Sonozaki family successor Mion and her twin Shion are alive in itself. The fact that they're alive in itself is deeply interesting. Perhaps the current leader Oryu is sympathetic? Of course, the twins were not cared for equally, and as the heir, Mion received special treatment. From what I've heard, despite the two of them looking exactly the same on the outside, the talent lies solely with Mion. My own observations of the two of them didn't leave me with that impression. Tradition dictates that the leader of the Sonozaki family is to inherit a demon, and they tattoo a magnificent one onto his or her back. In accordance with the tradition, there is an extremely high possibility that Mion has such a tattoo on her back. From what I've heard, there is apparently a magnificent demon tattooed on Oryu's back as well. Then I wonder what sort of tattoo belongs to the heir, Mion. I really want to see her back. This is interesting. Takano-san's scrapbook is interesting. Reserved for the day. Suzu Mahong Parlor. Thank you. Clatter clap.
クラちゃん、あんたが一番遅いよ。若い人はみんな揃ってる。 じゃあお母さん、すみませんね。
Uishi-san handed over a convenience store bag with a carton of cigarettes in it to the old lady who owned the Mahong parlor, and she shrewdly made herself scarce. She was used to this by now.
おいさん、お疲れ様っす。
なんだ、みんな真面目に待ってたんですか？さんまでもやってりゃよかったのに。
Everyone sitting at the Mahong tables in the small parlor were Oishi-san's. I'm so used to saying Oishi-san's. Were Oishi's subordinates, but there were no titles laid out anywhere.
皆さん、連日の不眠不休の捜査、ほんよし
Energetic responses filled the parlor. Already, it had lost its atmosphere of a place of entertainment.
状況は芳しくありません。所長が園崎系議員の恫喝に屈したそうです。近日中に高野殺しはお隣の県警さんに譲り、村長たちの失踪は行方不明扱いで生活課に委ねるようです。
Damn upstart chief. The veterans in the room cursed him.
請求した令状もすべて却下されました。課長からは園崎家界隈には請求した令状も、ちなみに私には来週から警視庁への研修命令が出るそうです。その後は余った有給を伊豆で消化しろとまで言われています。
Interesting.
いや、そういうのも悪くないですね。
You heard a few dry laughs. It wasn't anything to laugh about, but it was all they could do.
いつもそうですが、事件と車のキーの閉じ込めはよく似ています。開けるための鍵、車なら修理業者を呼んで扉をこじ開ける。事件なら、熊ちゃん、図面を。
Kumatani flipped over the whiteboard. On the back of it was a map of the Sundazaki premise, made with
私
magnets.
もずーっとこの商売をやってます。勘には自信があるつもりですがね。退職金が欲しい方は、私が10数える間に席を外してください。
So he's just gonna say fuck it. That's a freaking good detective, dude. Kind of. I mean, he's gonna get fired, but that's a good ass detective. He wants to get to the truth.
10!
Ah, no one's leaving.
皆さん、ご家族はもっと大切にしてくださいよ。
Everybody laughed uproariously, cheering
各
things
自
up.
手元の資料を確認。監視カメラの所在と資格を叩き込んでください。クマちゃんは指揮者で待機。非常時は私に代わって指揮をお願いしますよ。小宮山君は突入 A 班、淳君は突入 B 班を指揮。監視班は1から8まで所定の位置で監視を。ボンチ君はタイムテーブルを厳守。署に怪しまれないようローテを管理してください。さて、待機中の班が一番大仕事ですよ。課長に私の所在を聞かれたらとぼけてください。ゲストのエスコート役は私がやります。きっと会場へ連れて行きますので、皆さん気長に待っててください。
落ちるっすかね、前原圭一は。
私の見たところじゃ、明日明後日には行けそうです。
Detective, what is that achievement? Hold on. Oh, this achievement is read all tips. So that means we are on the very last chapter. If there are no more tips, that means there are no more chapters after this, except for the speculation chapter that they gave you, that I'm assuming is in this as well. We're gonna continue for a little bit. We'll stop in like 10 minutes, but I want to see what happens here.
放っておいてやれ。友達が行方不明に気の毒にな。
Normally my dad never shows me any consideration, but this time he
うち
did.
の圭一もしばらくの間学校を控えた方が、警察が何とかするまで外出を控えた方。
そうね。もしもってことに比べたら。
それよりもこんな物騒な事態になったら学校なんか休校にするのが筋じゃないのか。まったく 学校の先生方は人の子を何だと思ってるんだ。
Mom and Dad were getting pretty riled up, but at this point I couldn't care less. Besides, that was the only thing I couldn't care less about. The breakfast table, the food in front of me, the time and date, myself. I really had no interest in anything. This feeling, it was like a dead fog in my mind. It felt like getting dizzy after taking strong
圭
medication.
一、学校の勉強はどうなんだ。圭一の方が進んでるくらいじゃないのか。もしそうならしばらくお休みしてもいいんだぞ。
Didn't feel like answering. Today was Thursday. Only 4 days had passed since the Watanagashi festival. Such a short time, and yet now things were completely different. Everything had changed. The tranquil village, bright and clear as if it were an Indian summer, had undergone a total reversal. People were made to disappear every night, and we couldn't even relax when walking out in broad daylight. The village had become a world of fear. I had no right to curse this outcome. After all, the one responsible for everything was me. That night, I couldn't resist my honestly tiny little and incredibly stupid curiosity and broke the taboo.
ここは入ってはいけないところなんだろ。やめようぜ。鍵がかかシオンだってこれが密会現場じゃないと分かったなら十分。俺はこんなのには全然こんなところにいる間にリカちゃんの演舞が終わっちゃったらどうするんだよ。
I prattled on as I took the lock from Tomitaki-san's hands and put it back on the door. I'll forget everything I saw here, so come on. Let's go, let's go. Akana-san was fretting, but I pushed her away. Tomitaki-san grinned painfully. Shion's shoulders dropped as if to call me an idiot. Even so, I didn't care. Pushed everyone farther and farther away. Rika-chan's dance was still going on. Then at least her dance was brought to a close with a roaring applause. I, too, till my hands turned red, I clapped. I clapped. That was Rena. Hi,
レ
Rena.
ナちゃんじゃない？いつもの時間だから迎えに来たんじゃない？
Looked up at the clock. It was 5 minutes past my time to meet with Rena.
圭一、しばらく学校を休んだ方がいいんじゃ。
そうだね。気を使ってくれてありがとう。
I rose from my seat. I went to the entrance to greet Rena.
おはよう。今日から集団登校だから遅れちゃダメだよ。
That's right. If we, the ones furthest away, were to be late, the younger kids on the way would be waiting for us.
俺さ、今日からしばらく休むことにするよ。学校。
うん。
Rena answered shortly, nodding.
圭一くんが自分の体に一番優しい過ごし方を、だから別に引け目を感じることなん。あ、それからこれ回覧板、お母様に渡しておいてくれるかな。いろいろ大事なお知らせがあるみたいだから。
I took the notice. There were a lot more pages than normal. One on top announced the disappearance of the mayor, Rika-chan, and Satoko, and that they wanted any information about them. It made my heart ache.
警察も必死に探してくれてる。きっと見つかるから。待ってよ。ね。
I can't tell if things are even remotely the same as the first game in this game because it's so different. Am I going to be starting from a new slate every time? Oh, I'm so curious to see how the third game starts.
レナは俺を問い詰めないんだな。
うん。
レナは知ってるんだろ。俺があの晩
西宮殿に忍び込んだことかな。
筒抜けなんだな。まったく悪いことはするもんじゃないよ。
みーちゃんはすごく怒ってたよ。
She was upset. I suppose she would have been.
でもね、きっとみーちゃんが怒ってたのはそれを隠していたことだと思うの。圭一くんは自分から言い出して 謝らなくちゃいけなかったんじゃないかな。
Just 1 week ago, something that I myself should have apologized to Mio for. Had hurt her badly. However, I hadn't realized that at all. Plus, with the confession that Shion's appearance had brought, I still hadn't been able to talk to Mion
レ
about
ナ
it.
の俺はいつもレナに教えられるまで
圭一くん、もしもだよ。もしも圭一くんが悪いことをしたことをすぐに認めて、リカちゃんとサトコちゃんはいなくならずに済んだのかな。
Okay. I couldn't answer it away. I think there's a... I think that's a dumb statement. If... That's weird. That's weird. If maybe if you would have told her the truth, they wouldn't have had to disappear. Like, they had to disappear. Like, we have a problem in this. Like, if anything, it was good that I didn't tell her, because like if she's willing to go this far,
そうだ
I'm wouldn't have had to die or disappear. That's such a weird. Gonna slap me.
誰も圭一くんのことを叱らなかったと思う。だから私が代わりに圭一くんを叱るね。入ってはいけないところに勝手に入るのはとても悪いこと。それはわかる？
あ
返事ははいだよ、圭一くん。
はい。
そしてもっと悪いのは自分が悪いことをしたのを認めないこと。悪いことをするのはとてもいけないことだけど、それを認めて謝らないことはもっともっと悪いことなんだよ。
はい、僕が悪かったです。
じゃあもう時間だから私は行くよ。
あ
回覧板お母様に渡して。あと回覧板は暗くなったら持っていかないようにって注意付きだから。
One of these pages is not going to have something nice on it. Pages cut out of the class are now making less than the floor. I gathered them up one by one. My hand stopped at a single, more lighthearted page with peaceful sentences dancing on it.
Nanda, これ。
Okay. Huh. Stockpiling high quality soy sauce they had gotten from faraway relatives in Akita Prefecture. They had gotten a big shipment recently. They couldn't use it all, so they wanted anyone who wanted some to feel free to come over, is what it said. And as a PS, it said it arrived in barrels, and to please bring a 2-liter bottle or other container for it. That's how it tied together.
醤油をもらいに行くなら、園崎家、レナ、お前ひょっとして。
うん。知ってた。
What? You know what's weird is this whole time, this game did a very good. If this is actually, I'm gonna continue. I wasn't coming back, so Satoko called Mion's house, knew where she had gone, and Satoko got called there as well. That meeting on the day the mayor disappeared, didn't Oishi-san say the 3 families participated in it? The 3 families would include the Sonozaki family. didn't he also say that the current leader was really old, so her heir, Mion, frequently stood in for her at public appearances? While the mayor was returning from the shrine, Mion called out and stopped him. She talked to him and invited him to their house and made them disappear. It was probably even simpler to make Shion disappear. Shion was part of the Sonozaki family. They probably knew exactly what she was doing at all times. I'm sure they even knew her part-time job and schedule too. Thinking back, wasn't that Angel Mort store managed by the Sonozaki family? Setting up an ambush for her there wouldn't have been any trouble at all.
俺ミオンのとこ謝ってくるよ。もう全部終わりにしてもらう。ミオンはきっと簡単には許してくれないだろうけど、もうこれ以上誰も犠牲にならないように頼んでくる。
Put on my shoes and slip past Rena to exit the house. She stopped me.
私も行くよ。
レナ、学校はいいのかよ。
学校なんかよりもっと大切な用事だよ。
レナは来るな。この上レナまで巻き込まれたら俺は頭がどうにかなってしまうかもしれない。
I'm going to. Rena, shouldn't you go to school? This is way more important than school. Rena, you shouldn't come if you get wrapped up in this too. I think I might actually go crazy. Rena did move around. Which...
ケイチ君までいなくなったら私も頭がどうにかなってしまうかもしれない。だからケイチ君だけを行かせない。
わかった。
This is crazy.
行こう。ありがとう、レナ。
That's not how this is gonna work. After that, I'll pray. I'll apologize for the crimes I've committed. That is not how this should work. After that, I'll pray that once more we could return to those fun, lively days. Rena following me. I left the house. Guys, I'm a little confused, and oh, there's so much to talk about. I'm gonna save it right here, so I won't play anymore. So this is the last chapter. We're on the last chapter. Next episode is either going to be the second to last or last one, depending on how long this last chapter is. I don't know. But I imagine it's not going to end with me apologizing to Mion and us all living happily ever after. There's going to be some shit that happens, and we're going to see. Rena is nice to me, which I guess isn't hard to do. In the last one, she was straight up a demon. She was straight up demonness. I have not at all this world seen Rena go crazy. And it was just the fact that I had seen her in the previous game crazy that I immediately was like, fuck Rena. Like get her out of my face. Doing anything with Rena is a bad idea. But, like, is it? Because this is a completely different world. This is a world where Rika-chan disappeared, which I thought was working with them. But now she's not. There's so many things that aren't in line. If we're... I'm just, like... I think flabbergasted is the right word. That's not the right word. But I'm flabbergasted. I'm bringing back a word from like 40 years ago to describe how I'm feeling right now. I don't know. Like, the fact that Rena is not evil and has not shown that she's evil this entire story makes me think that I've just been duped. That is weird. I suspected the Shion thing. Shion's just not even alive, so technically I was wrong. But the Shion that I was talking about was the person that, you know, I knew something was up with Shion. But Rena being nice, is that true? Have I just not seen that she's like, I'm gonna get to Mion's house and then she's gonna be like, no, I'm restraining you, and then Mion's gonna be like, haha, Rena was with me the entire time. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. But that would be really odd because she's like being super trustworthy right now. I don't know. Like, the writing is making it seem like it would be really unfair if she turned evil right now. But she could. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna stop talking because it's about 50 minutes. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this, hit the like button, especially on this series. Helps out a lot. I see you guys. Thank you, Insult Nerd, Lexiville. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of the people that give me comments and kind of talk me through this because I have no idea what's going on. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And I hope to see you guys in the next episode of this, where we're about to end Chapter 2. This has been just as long as the first one. I thought it might be a little shorter or a little longer. It's just as long. So that's interesting. Anyway, peace, guys.